Hello everyone, welcome to Lukmaan IAS. Today we are going to have the Hindu newspaper analysis dated 15th of January 2024. In today's newspaper analysis, we are going to cover the most important articles from the newspaper from the UPSC point of view. And apart from this, we are going to cover a mapping related topic, and this topic will help you to solve mapping related questions in the prelims exam. So let us quickly see the list of articles that we have selected for covering in today's newspaper analysis. So in all, we are going to cover 10 topics. Out of them, one will be the mapping related topic. So let us quickly see the first topic. Name of this topic is Mount Merapi. Why Mount Merapi is in news? It is in news because recently there was a volcanic eruption. Okay, volcanic eruption has happened in Mount Merapi. So we need to understand where is this Mount Merapi located, right? So this is a topic which is from the point of view of places in news. So this particular Mount Merapi is in news. It is there in today's newspaper itself. So let us see the location of Mount Merapi. So Mount Merapi, this is the location of Merapi. So it is in the Java island, okay, Javan island. So this is in Indonesia. So where is it? It is in Indonesia. So let us quickly see the another map, right? Another map. So this particular map will give you a broader picture, because here we not only have the map of Indonesia, but we also have map of other countries. For example, Malaysia, and here we have Brunei. We have, let's say, like, some other regions as well. So where is Mount Merapi located? This is the location of Mount Merapi. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to remember that Mount Merapi is a place which is located in Indonesia, and here there has been a volcanic eruption. Means it is an active volcano. So whenever you are reading geography, you need to understand about landforms of different types. You need to understand about geophysical phenomena like volcano, earthquake, tsunami, etc. So whenever there is any volcanic eruption, you need to understand where is it happening. You need to remember the location. Apart from this, you need to learn about different types of volcanoes. For example, we have active volcanoes, we have dormant volcanoes. You need to understand about the cross section of volcano. Means like, where is the crater located, right? What is magma, right? Magma which comes out of the volcano, right? And if we talk about this Indonesia, this particular location lies in the, right, Pacific Ring of Fire. The Pacific Ring of Fire is considered to be a place where lot of geophysical phenomena keep on happening, including volcanic activity, earthquake related events. Why? It is because like here we have the plate margins or plate boundaries. The plate boundaries lies between different type of plates. So the thing is, here we have, let's say, divergent plate boundaries, we have convergent plate boundaries, and we also have transform plate boundaries. And since, let's say, these continental plates or oceanic plates are moving relative to one another, so that's why these kind of activity keep on happening. So here what you need to remember the location of Mount Merapi. Okay. So having understood this topic, let us quickly move to the first topic from the newspaper articles. So this is the first topic. It says, a speaker's flawed move to determine the real faction. So in this article, we will understand about the concept of defection, which is, let's say, studied under the Indian polity section. Okay. So let us write down this particular topic. This is topic number 1 for us. Name of the topic is a speaker's flawed move to determine the real faction. Move to determine the real faction. So what are the issues that we are going to understand through this article? We will understand about the concept of defection. We will understand about anti-defection law. We will understand the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India. And we will understand about the recent incidents which has happened in the state of Maharashtra related to, let's say, like, disqualification of members and creation of new factions in the government. So let us understand what is the issue all about, right? So what is the issue? So to understand the context, right, we need to understand the state legislative assembly of the state of Maharashtra, right, of the state of Maharashtra. So what has happened in the state of Maharashtra? Basically, in Maharashtra, there is a Shiv Sena, right? Shiv Sena is a political party. So it was ruling in the state of Maharashtra. But what has happened? There has been an internal division in Shiv Sena, okay? So it has led to emergence of two different factions. One of the faction which is led by Uddhav Thackeray, right? One of them is led by Uddhav Thackeray, and another is led by the present chief minister of the state of Maharashtra, which is led by Eknath Shinde, okay? Who is leading this faction? It is led by Eknath Shinde, okay? So earlier there was Shiv Sena, a political party. It was headed by Uddhav Thackeray, but later on, out of this particular political party, some people have gone out and then they have joined the faction which is led by Eknath Shinde. And this has led to the controversy, this has led to the debate related to defection, okay? So we are going to understand what do we mean by defection. Are there any protection related to defection in the Constitution of India? So what do we mean by defection? When we talk about defection, it means a person, let's consider there is a member of parliament or a member of the state legislative assembly. There is a member, there can be one member or there can be multiple members. If they move from party 1 to party 2, right, after joining the political party, after winning the election, let's say this particular person has won the election by taking the seat of party 1. And then after winning the election, if this person joins party 2, this amounts to defection, okay, this amounts to defection. And defection may happen because of multiple reasons. What are the reasons? Joining a political party, like contesting election using the ticket of a political party, then joining another political party. This constitutes defection. And also winning the election as an independent member, but after winning the election, then if they join any political party, that also constitutes defection. Apart from this, if let's say in the state legislative assembly or in the Parliament of India, what happens if the ruling party gives a mandate that, like, we need vote, we need support from all our legislatures, and the party issues whip. What? Party issues something which is known as whip, right? Whip means a mandate that the members of this particular party, the member of our political party, should vote in support or against this particular bill. So the thing is, all the members are supposed to, vote according to the whip of the political party. But the thing is, if a member does not vote in accordance with the whip, in accordance with the mandate that is set by the political party, that constitutes defection. So in that case also, the political party may ask the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly or Speaker of the Lok Sabha in case of Parliament to, let's say, to actually issue anti-defection law against that person, and after issuing anti-defection law, that person may be disqualified, okay? So this is known as defection. So having understood the meaning of defection, are there any protection in the Constitution of India? Yes, there are protection in the Constitution of India, and these protections are given under the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India, okay? In the Constitution of India, we have 10th schedule. In the 10th schedule is also known as anti-defection law. The 10th schedule is also known as anti-defection law. And so in any case, whenever there happens to be a defection, so the thing is, the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly or the Speaker of Lok Sabha has to take a decision in that regard, okay? So Speaker is the authority who is authorized under the 10th schedule to take a decision related to disqualification of a member who has defected from his own political party, okay? So the thing is, recently what has happened, as we discussed initially in the Maharashtra, right, Shiv Sena was there, but within Shiv Sena there has been factions created. One faction is led by Uddhav Thackeray, other is led by Eknath Shinde. So earlier Uddhav Thackeray, let's say, was leading the faction. These people, let's say Eknath Shinde and many members of the political party, they have gone to some other state. To be specific, they have gone to the state of Assam. They have met in a hotel there and they have decided that they are going to create another faction and they will support Eknath Shinde. And then Eknath Shinde came into power. So he had the majority support, he came into power, he became the chief minister of the state of Maharashtra. After he became the chief minister of the state of Maharashtra, so the thing is the Uddhav Thackeray section, they have approached the speaker to take a decision related to defection of these members. But the speaker has not taken a decision for a long period of time, right? So because of inaction of the speaker, the Uddhav Thackeray faction, they have approached the Supreme Court of India to take a decision, right? So Supreme Court of India has, let's say, directed the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly of Maharashtra to take a decision related to the defection related cases at the earliest. And recently what has happened, the Speaker of the State Legislative Assembly of Maharashtra has taken a decision that the Eknath Shinde, like, the faction that is headed by Eknath Shinde constitutes the real Shiv Sena, right? So the speaker has decided that, the faction that is headed by Eknath Shinde constitutes the real Shiv Sena. And in this article, the author is criticizing the decision of the speaker. Author says that, it is not the prerogative of the speaker to take a decision in this regard. This decision should be taken by the Election Commission of India. Why Election Commission of India? Because in the Election Commission of India, so we do have an act in India that talks about, let's say, Representation of People's Act. And Election Commission of India issues symbols to political parties. So the Election Commission of India should take a decision in this regard. And author is saying, since the speaker has taken a decision in this regard and this decision is flawed because it is not based on the constitutional norms, it is not backed by any statutory authority, it is not backed by any statutory law. This is the thing. Apart from this, here in this article, the author has mentioned about 2 case laws. Okay, we are going to discuss about those case laws, right? Author has discussed about 2 case laws. What are those case laws? So the first case law is related to Rajendra Prasad Rana versus Swami Prasad Maurya in 2017. Okay, the first case law is related to Rajendra Prasad Rana versus Swami Prasad Maurya. Okay, Swami Prasad Maurya in the year of 2007. This case law is very, very important. Why this case law is very important? Because in this particular case law, the Supreme Court of India has, let's say, given a verdict. And in that verdict of the Supreme Court of India made it clear that whenever some people from one political party, right, they go, they join together, they go and they meet the governor to create, let's say, to create another government in the state by breaking the already existing, let's say, political party. So that constitutes defection. And to be exact, in this article, the in this case, the Supreme Court said that when a member or a group of members of the ruling party join hands with the opposition party and meet the governor along with the members of the opposition and try to form an alternative government, they can be said to have voluntarily given up the membership of their original party. Okay, so they have voluntarily given up the membership of their original party, and according to this, it constitutes defection. It constitutes defection. And since it constitutes defection, so anti-defection law must be invoked. Okay, anti-defection law must be invoked, and the people who have voluntarily given up the membership of their own political party, these people must be disqualified. Okay, these people must be disqualified. So this is what the Supreme Court of India has talked in this particular case, which is Rajendra Prasad Rana versus Swami Prasad Maurya. Apart from this, in this article, the author has discussed about another case law. What is that case law? author discussed about Subhas Desai versus Principal Secretary. Okay, so I'm going to write down the second case law over here, which is case law number 2. The second case law is Subhas Desai versus Principal Secretary. Subhas Desai versus Principal Subhas Desai versus Principal Secretary, Governor of Maharashtra and others, comma, Governor of Maharashtra and others. This is a very new case law, 2023. In this particular case law, the Supreme Court observes that a split has taken place in Shiv Sena, and thus the two factions have come into existence. So in this particular case, the Supreme Court of India has observed that the thing is like, there has been a split in Shiv Sena, okay? There has been a split in the Shiv Sena, right? And two factions came into being. What are those two factions? One of the faction is headed or led by, right? One of the faction is headed or led by Eknath Shinde, and other faction is headed or led by the Uddhav Thackeray, okay? But the thing is, when we talk about split, the case of a split is mentioned in the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India. Which schedule? It is mentioned in the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India. So it was in the original 10th schedule. So now the 10th schedule has been, let's say, amended. In the original 10th schedule, there has been two clauses. One of the clause that talked about that if 1/3 of the member, right, from a political party, they move, right, from a political party P1, move to political party P2. So the thing is, it constitutes mass movement of people. So this does not attract, right, it does not attract anti-defection. It does not attract anti-defection, right? But the thing is, this section from the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India has been already repealed, okay? So author says that although Supreme Court of India has observed that, there has been a split in Shiv Sena, but that split cannot be taken as a kind of rescue measure, because this particular section no longer holds legal, because this has been repealed, right? This has been, let's say, amended in the 10th schedule. There has been an amendment. Apart from this, people could, let's say, like, seek some savior from the, let's say, disqualification under this particular 10th schedule. In the original 10th schedule, that said the legislatures party merges with another party and not less than 2/3 of the member agree to merge and walk out of the original party. Means, let's say there is an original party P1, from this party 2/3 of the member, right, go to merge, I mean like at least 2/3 of P1 member merges with P2. So this is known as merger of political parties. Whenever there are mergers of the political party, what happens? Anti-defection law is not attracted. If anti-defection law is not attracted, what will happen? The people will not be disqualified. So earlier, those people who were defecting from their original party, they could seek some kind of, let's say, rescue from these things. But like, the first one has already been been amended in the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India, and now this section no longer holds true. So finally, author says that in the Shiv Sena case in Maharashtra, the question as to which faction is the real party cannot be decided by the speaker, as the 10th schedule does not require him to decide this. So the 10th schedule does not require the speaker to decide which faction constitutes the original political party. This particular decision has to be left with the Election Commission of India. Okay, so this is what the author is talking about in this article. So what we have learned in this article, we have learned about what do we mean by defection. We have learned about the 10th schedule of the Constitution of India. We have understood about anti-defection law. we have understood that the speaker is the final authority to take a decision related to anti-defection, disqualification of members from the, disqualification of members from the state legislative assembly or from the parliament. This is the thing. Apart from this, this is the recent case, right? Here, PDT Achari. So this person has taken a, he has been a for Secretary General of Lok Sabha. He has given his, let's say, like understanding. He talked about like what should be done in this case, right? So this is the thing. So with this, let us now quickly move to another article. This article is again very important. It says the delusion of eliminating the last terrorist. Okay, the delusion of eliminating the last terrorist. This is again a very important article. This is topic number 2. The delusion of eliminating the last terrorist. Okay, so basically why we are reading this article is important under internal security. So in the GS paper 3 of the mains exam, we have a topic which is internal security. Okay, it is part of GS paper 3. And here in this article, we are going to learn about, let's say, a state which was earlier known as the state of Jammu and Kashmir. But the thing is, this state of Jammu and Kashmir has been, what has happened? It has been converted into 2 union territories. So one of the union territories known as the Union Territory of Ladakh, UT of Ladakh, and another is known as the UT, Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So basically in this article, the author has taken a viewpoint related to elimination of last terrorists. So who are considered to be terrorists? Those people who are working against the government establishment. Those people who want to, let's say, like, create those people who want to take away Jammu and Kashmir from India. So they are considered to be, let's say, terrorists. But here, the terrorists that we are talking about, they are the people who have been residing in Jammu and Kashmir. And recently what has happened? Recently, let's say, like, one of the influential person from the, from the army, what they have said that basically they have killed huge number of terrorists in this region. Okay, they have killed huge number of terrorists in this region, in the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir. So when we talk about killing of a huge number of people in Jammu and Kashmir by labeling them as terrorists is not right. Here the author is saying that now Jammu and Kashmir has shifted. I mean, like, earlier when we talk about 1990s, there have been insurgent activities in Jammu and Kashmir. There have been people, right, who were protesting against the government. They were picking arms. They have killed many security personals. They have, let's say, caused terror among the security establishments. But the thing is, now what has happened, after the creation of the Union Territory of Jammu and Kashmir, we have deployed huge number of army personals. And recently there has been an attack also. And this terrorist strike has happened in Rajouri Poonch district in Dera Ki Gali, okay, in Jammu and Kashmir. And after this, what has happened, the Director General of Police in Jammu and Kashmir has briefed to the media that in 2023 they have killed huge number of terrorists. But author is saying that killing terrorists is not the solution. What we need to do, we need to strengthen our army personals, we need to strengthen our security apparatus, we need to try to bring normalcy in the region, okay? And that will solve the problem in this region for a longer time to come. Killing and counter-killing will not work. Here the author says that neutralizing terrorists is a crucial objective of the security operations. But it ought not to become the overriding factor in the context of there being lower terror indices. Okay, basically this is, in this article they say that, like, killing the terrorist is not the solution. We need to conduct those operations that neutralizes the terror outfits, right? We need to identify the heads of the terror organizations. We need to arrest them. So the thing is, the terror outfits are neutralized. Only then we will be able to have effective control, right? We will be having proper law and order in these regions, okay? So this is just an internal security related topic. In this topic, much thing has not been discussed, but they have discussed about the terrorist strike that has happened in Poonch. Why it was important? Because I think 2 security personals have been killed, and in return security personals have killed 3 civilians, and because of which like people have started protesting against the security personals in that region, okay? So this is the topic. With this, let us now move to another article. It says closer to closure. This is again a topic related to internal security. We are going to be quick in understanding this topic. This is topic number 3. Closer to closure, okay? So there is a difference in the meaning of these 2 words. Closer means being near, closure means closing something, okay? That's the difference. So here basically they are talking about a professor, okay? In this article they are talking about a professor. So what has happened? Long back, this particular professor has set a question paper, okay? This particular professor has set a question paper in a college, and this question paper was influenced by some media articles, and there in the question paper this professor has, talked about a particular religion, okay? This professor has talked about, let's say in this question, in that question they have, let's say, mentioned about a particular religion in a different way. So later on what has happened? One hand of the professor was chopped off by a person, and the person who has chopped off the hand of the professor, that person was not individual. He was supported by an organization, right? He was supported by an organization, by an outfit, and name of the outfit is mentioned in this article, which is known as Popular Front of India, okay? Name of the outfit is known as Popular Front of India. So this Popular Front of India is in short known as PFI. It has been disbanded by the Government of India. Government of India has labeled this particular organization as a terror outfit. Why? Because they were involved in some kind of activities which are illegal. That's the thing. And it has been around 13 years that this particular professor could not get any justice, right? And recently the National Investigating Agency, they have arrested about 19 people, and they have arrested the main culprit who has chopped off the hand of this professor, okay? So the thing is, like, these people are being tried, and that's why in this article they say that terror networks can be dismantled only by disabling those at their top. So those people who are at the top of the terror outfits like Popular Front of India, and before Popular Front of India there was another organization that has, let's say, turned into the Popular Front of India. And in this article the author has mentioned about, let's say, a book or a memoir that was written by this professor. It is known as 1,000 Cuts, okay? So this professor has written a memoir about his 1,000 Cuts. He has written it in the year of 2020. So basically what has happened, after this professor has, let's say, created this question paper, he was removed from the college, he lost his job, and after then his wife could not take it much. His wife also committed suicide. So the thing is, he lost his job, his wife committed suicide, he lost his one hand. So the thing is, recently the National Investigating Agency have arrested 19 people, including the person who has committed this crime, okay, against the professor. So that's why this topic is in news. With this, we have another article. This article says prohibitive gains. This is a very short article. Here they talk about rising food prices may affect already weak consumption of goods, okay? So here we are talking about inflation, and inflation is headline inflation. So inflation, what do we mean by inflation? whenever the general price of goods and services increases over a period of time, that is known as inflation. And if the price of goods and services increases related to food or oil, they create headlines in the newspaper. So that is known as headline inflation. And whenever inflation happens, the purchasing power of currency, purchasing power of money reduces. Okay, purchasing power of money reduces. That's the thing. So in this article, they have talked about few indices. One of the indices is known as consumer price index. Other is known as the food price index. So what has happened? The consumer price index and the food price index has increased. So they say the price of food commodities are increasing. Since price of food commodities are increasing, what will happen? People will not be able to afford food much. And the thing is, apart from this article, recently there has been, let's say, like, reports, international reports that talked about in South Asia, there are 8 countries including India. 72% of the population in South Asia could not afford a healthy diet for themselves. And if price of food increases, it's going to create problem, right? It's going to create problem. So in this article, author says that rising food prices may affect already weak consumption of goods. Means consumption of good is already weak, right? In the economy, we do have, let's say, like, people producing goods, but lesser consumption is happening. So goods may perish, right? And if the price of food increases, so the thing is, it is going to affect already weak consumption of let's say, goods. That's the thing. So this is related to economy. Here the Department of Consumer Affairs has talked about, let's say, like, why there has been an increase in the price of food items and all. So this is just a commentary on the recent happenings. Okay, this is the thing. So now let us move to another article. In this article, they talk about regulating India's online gaming industry. Okay, regulating India's online gaming industry. So let us discuss about online game. Okay, so here this article is little important for us because it has been in news in multiple times. Okay, this is another topic that we are going to discuss. Name of the topic is regulating India's online gaming industry. Regulating India's online gaming industry. So let's discuss about it. When we talk about online games, right? When we talk about online games. So in general, games can be categorized into different types. How we can categorize games? One of the game can be considered to be game of skill. Okay, one of the game is known as game of skill, and another game can be known as game of chance. Okay, game of skill and game of chance. So what is the difference between game of skill and game of chance? In game of skill, it depends on the skill of the player, that how, means like what is the probability that that player is going to win. Means if you have a skill, if you have learned that game, if you have practiced well, you're going to win. And if in case of game of chance, your skill does not matter much, right? Your skill does not matter much. And most of the online games come under the game of chance category, okay? Most of the online game come under game of chance. And the thing is, the government of India has created certain legislation, certain rule to regulate the game of skill as well as game of chance. And betting is prohibited in most of the games. But the thing is, betting related activities are regulated by different state governments in India, right? So some states allow betting to happen in games, some states do not allow it. So it is a state subject in the Constitution of India. It is mentioned in list 2 of the 7th schedule of the Constitution of India. So in this article, they have talked about regulating India's online gaming industry. Why it is important to regulate online gaming industry? It is because of multiple factors. So the thing is, online games are being played by huge number of kids in the country. There are some games that are addictive in nature. And since games are addictive in nature, a huge amount of time is consumed of these kids, and these kids are the future of the country. So it is important that we should regulate how these games are operating. We should also regulate the content of these games. I mean, like, you know, what are these games? Are these games creating some kind of mental stress to the kids? There have been games that are in news, that games actually incite or entice kids to commit suicide, to do some activities. Okay, such games have been there, they have been banned. So in this article, they have talked about why we need to regulate the games, online games in India, and what is the status of regulation of games in the country. Okay, so finally in this article, author says the meteoric rise of online gaming has brought with it an array of concern such as addiction, mental illness, suicide, financial frauds, privacy and data security concerns. So to address all these problems, we need to go for effective regulation of the game, right, of the online games in the country. So with this, we have another article, very short article. It says, status of medical care on India's trains. Okay. So generally what happens, like in India, trains are considered to be the lifeline of the country. Why? Because through trains, huge number of people commute from one state to another state. And it, let's say, fosters the spirit of brotherhood. It fosters the spirit of fraternity in the country. And when we talk about the passenger trains in the country, huge number of passengers, let's say, like, you know, board on different bogies. There are general bogies also, where huge number of people board over there. Some people are unhealthy, they also board over there. They might be having some disease, they might be having some pre-health conditions. So the thing is, do we have any first aid kits in these trains? And what safety measures are taken by the trains? So do we have any, let's say, like, you know, medical care on the trains for the passengers who are boarded on the train? It's not only about the train meeting an accident. After a train meets an accident, there should be emergency care. There should be some steps taken by the authorities, right, in that regard. But the thing is, in this article, they have talked about, they have basically discussed about that, like, you know, what are the steps that have been taken by the government in this regard? How are we making our trains travel safer? So medical care provisions in Indian Railway need to address emergency medical conditions and not accident related emergencies alone. So as of now, what is happening? Many a times trains meet with one or other kind of accidents. So there, let's say, like, you know, the government of India has created certain provisions, certain norms, how we can, let's say, provide, let's say, accident related, let's say, emergency cure for people. But in this article, they say, like, you know, not only accident related emergencies must be addressed, but also in general, health conditions of patients must be taken care of in the trains. Okay, so there should be medical supply, there should be first aid kits in the train. Okay, that's the thing. So lot of, let's say, like, you know, lot of details are mentioned. In your free time you can learn about this. Then we have another article. It says Frederick X ascends the throne in Denmark. So when we talk about Denmark, Denmark is a Scandinavian country. It is also known as Nordic country. Okay, so Denmark is one of the Nordic country, and here this country is ruled by monarch. It is ruled by kings and queens. So earlier, Queen Margaret, she is the lady who is now around 82 years old. She was ruling this particular country, Denmark, right? And recently she has decided to resign from her post. Recently she has decided to abdicate from her post. Okay, so the thing is, she is the second monarch, right, in Denmark to have renounced his or her position as the ruler of the country. And she has done it after about, let's say, 700 years. Last time that that our ruler has resigned, or let's say left his or her position, was in 1146. Now in 2023, Queen Margaret has renounced her position. She has decided to, let's say, like, you know, step down from her position. And now her son, this particular person has, like, his name is Frederick X. He is now becoming the king of Denmark. Okay. So this is just a news item, but you need to understand where is Denmark located, right? Location of Denmark and other Scandinavian countries in this region. So with this, let us now quickly understand another article that we have discussed in the beginning itself, right? So we have discussed about Mount Merapi, where there has been a, let's say, volcanic eruption, okay? There has been a volcanic eruption. So where is Mount Merapi located? It is located in, let's say, Indonesia, right? It is located on the Javan Island. So this is the news item for which we have discussed the, let's say, like, article in detail. Means like we have discussed the mapping topic in detail. So Indonesia's Mount Merapi erupts, more than 150 people evacuated. So this is, let's say, one of the volcano has erupted. So this is an active volcano. We discussed about it in the beginning of today's discussion itself. Now we have another article. It says, all remaining hostages seized in Ecuador prison, riots freed. So the thing is, Ecuador, this is the location of Ecuador. So Ecuador is a country in South America. South America is also known as Latin America. In Latin America or in South America, we have 12 independent countries, right? We have 12, let's say, sovereign countries, and we do have a territory which is, let's say, administered by France. It is known as French Guiana. So the thing is, Ecuador is a country which is located to the west side of South America, northwestern side of South America. What has happened here? Recently, the president of Ecuador has taken a decision to, let's say, like, come down heavily on all gangs, all armed groups, all insurgent groups, all the gangs in the country. So after that, what has happened? Many inmates in the prisons, so many prisoners who were there, right? Those inmates has, let's say, like, conducted a siege, conducted an attack. They have taken hostages, huge number of people, right? All the prison officials, the people who are working in the prison, the authorities, they were taken hostages by the inmates in that prison. So recently what has happened? All remaining hostages, the hostages who were, let's say, like, hostages means those people who are kidnapped, who are, let's say, like, taken control of, who are detained. And hostage taking was done by the prisoners, those people who are in jail, right? So they have recently released the hostages, all remaining hostages seized in Ecuador prison, riots freed, okay? So these, like, all people, around 136 people, they were taken hostage, so they have been freed. So it created international news. So that's why we discussed. It is also important that you understand the location of Ecuador, okay? Recently from South America, some countries were in news. What are those countries? Argentina was in news because presidential election happened. And the president who came into power in Argentina, he is a self-proclaimed, right, anarcho-capitalist, okay? He has decided to do away with the Argentinian peso. He has decided to, let's say, like, do away with 10 ministries out of 18 ministries. He has decided to go for dollarization of the economy. That's why it was in news. Then Argentina, Chile and Bolivia. These three countries are known as lithium triangle, okay? They were also in news. Apart from this, Venezuela and Guyana, they are in news because of a region which is known as Essequibo region. Essequibo region is located in Guyana. It is an oil-rich region, because of which, let's say, Venezuela is eyeing on capturing this particular oil-rich region in Guyana. So that's why also it is in news. So they are, let's say, like, South America has been in news related to many things. Okay, that's the thing. So that's all from my side for the day. Thank you so much, everyone, for attending today's session. I hope you have a good day ahead. Thank you. Any questions? No question?